Hello guys, it is Danny here again, and today it's another episode of League Racing in AOR Split 1 PC. But today, as you can see from the title, I would like to speak about the Slipstream effect in the game as well at the same time, while of course I will be showing you just the highlights from my race and my fastest lap from the quali, as always after I have showed you my setup. You can see my personal quali lap, which to be honest was fairly not a great one. During practices at that week I could do a 1.26.2 or 3, but this time it's not going to happen. I spoiled it a little bit. I was way too cautious in the 4th sector, I didn't carry enough speed into the corners, and of course I hit all apex right and I didn't really lose the back end of the car anywhere. But in this first part I was just way too cautious. Heading to the hardest part of the track, the maggots, backets, and this very fast section, the left, right, and a little bit of left. As you can see, I lost the backend a little bit, just a little bit, but because of that I missed the apex of the last part of the combination and I lost time as well. Arriving to this very fast right-hander, I am sorry but I don't know the name of that. The game lets you go wide actually, but in AOR it was of course forbidden, so of course I tried to keep it in track, but I went a little bit wide as you can see, and I needed to lift because I didn't want to gain any advantage because of that. So as you can see from my delta time, it wasn't perfect at all. Last two corners were okay, but as you can see I managed to get just a P5 with this lap. I expected a little bit of a better result, but the guys at the front did an absolutely amazing job, so I think I needed to accept it, and I think we just need to congratulate them. It's the 3rd time of the season that I'm not in the front row. The red lights are off and I think I had an acceptable reflex, but my start again was not a great one. Since I have my new wheel, I have been struggling with that. As you can see, positioning myself in the 1st sector, I was very cautious, very careful, because I didn't want to lose my front wing, I didn't want to have any damage, but that did cost me losing 2 positions. It seems that my weakest points are the race starts, because I am not bad in the reflex, but I'm not managing wheel spin. And at the same time I am very cautious, which can be a good point as well, because I have not got any damage in this season so far, but it costs me sometimes losing positions. But from this point virtual racing become very similar to real life, because the first 8 people formed a train until the first stops, which were expected to be after lap 9 or 10, and nearly everybody was planning to do a one-stop strategy with soft or medium tires for the 2nd stint, but you will be able to see that most of the guys, of the contestants, chose the softer compound of these fantastic Pirelli rubbers. But in these laps, as I have already mentioned at the very beginning of the video, I'd like to speak about the slipstream effect in the game in F1 2017. In F1 2016 you may know that the slipstream was way too strong, did cost a big difference in straight line speed, while there was not any negative effect in the corners. In F1 2016 the turbulent air was not an existing thing, so it was quite easy to follow each other and it was quite easy to overtake. But in this game now the slipstream in the straights are much weaker, and in addition at the same time we have turbulent air effect in the game as well that decreases our chances of staying very close to the car in front, which results in harder overtaking. Before this game released I was very afraid of that, and I really thought that they went way too far with nerfing slipstream, and I really thought that they just fell on the other side of the horse compared to 2016, where the slipstream was too aggressive. I even made a video from that, and of course I leave it in the description. If you still haven't watched it, you can check it out. But when I started playing F1 on my own, I quickly realized that it made overtaking very challenging and much more enjoyable. But in this video, in this explanation, I would like to get furthermore into the details, because now I mentioned the slipstream effect in F1 2017, it's great, but I still not found it perfect. it's very good, but still can be improved on some ways, so I would like to explain that to you. We all know that there are tracks where overtaking is really hard with equal cars, equal tires. For an example, Silverstone, Melbourne, Hungary and more. But while in reality Slipstream becomes stronger or weaker exponentially when you are closer or farther from a car in front, in this game I find it too constant. I guess now it's quite hard to understand me, so I would like to go into more in depth and I would like to explain what I mean. In this game, to be able to overtake, besides that of course you need to be very close, you need to have very similar or lower wing setup, otherwise you won't be able to overtake. If these cars are not equal and you are with a worse engine, then your job will be nearly impossible. And now you might think that, okay Danny, but what's the problem? It's in reality, it's the same in real life, but actually it's not. Because as I mentioned, in this game the slipstream seems to be quite constant, while in real life it's not. I will edit some real life footage where the McLaren overtakes a Mercedes Power's engine, because in reality, when you are 1 or just 3 tenths behind, so definitely very close, even a McLaren Honda can overtake a Mercedes powered car, even if the McLaren has the highest wing settings. But in this game I am very missing that very close effect when so basically I would like to just feel more contrast, and I definitely changed that for 2018 because I feel in F1 2017 it's too constant. I want to really feel the difference of being very close to a car in front or being more behind. I will do another video a few weeks later where I would like to explain what I would change for 2018, and I really hope that you will leave your thoughts in the comment section as well. I really look forward reading them. This video didn't exactly show what I want because Team in front usually opened his DRS and he was also quite close to the car in front of him, but sometimes I was closer, and that video explains the difference between being very close and being a little bit further behind. So in these moments I just wanted to show that while he was about 9 tenths behind the car in front of him and I was about 4 tenths behind him, we had nearly the exact same slipstream, so I didn't feel that contrast what I would like to feel. As you can see, all of the guys in front went to the pits, so I was leading the race for 1 or 2 laps, and my main philosophy behind my strategy was to stay out just a little bit more to have the best possible tires at the very end of the race, and I wanted to overtake some guys in front of me at the very last laps. And I also hoped, in addition, that the guys who went to the pit so early, they came back to traffic, they had to battle with each other maybe as well, they might have some kind of damage, they might get held up, they just might go side by side for a very long time and lose time because of that. And as you can see from the map and from the leaderboard, Hamilton was behind me and he was in front with a group of me before the pit stops. So there were actually 3 or 4 guys who were front of me, but they came behind me because they were in traffic, they had some contact, they had some close moments and some battles, and that's why they lost a huge amount of time in that 2 laps, and I became the guy who were front of them with a softer compound of tires. I'm in P9 actually, but the cars in front were still on a soft starting strategy. So for an example, Fehler, who I started to catch in these laps, were still out on the track without any pit stop because he started on the soft compound, and for the last stint he chose to go with the super soft, which was a nice strategy, but of course starting out of the 10 it's very hard to get a podium or get in very front because the guys are very fast around here, and I thought I'm a very good pilot in this track, but as you can see I had the P7 or P6 space out of the pack. So yeah, it was quite hard to battle out there, but as you can see now, I managed to overtake Fehler, and Topo was the guy ahead of me, and as you can see from the map, the last guy out of the pack who haven't pitted yet went to the pit as well, and I became P3. I tried to catch Topa, I tried everything. Brandon Lee was the race leader and we had absolutely no chance against him. But as you can see, getting to the last lap, the lap 2016, I couldn't do anything against him. In these laps my tires went a little bit off. I really tried to get everything out of my car. I made a few mistakes as well because I really believed the Topa may have got a penalty and to just get in 3 seconds behind him, but actually in that times I also get a penalty, so it didn't cost anything. But still, I just tried my best, and as you can see, it's the end of the race. I finished in P3, which I was very happy about, because before the pit stops I was P7, I was struggling and I was behind Timp and I couldn't do anything, and Timp is leading the championship, and you know, it was a very key moment for me to just get points over him, because I am a little bit behind because I missed the race in Bahrain. I wasn't at home. I had some unlucky moments with the synchronization, for an example in Canada, what you can check out in my last videos. And I was very happy that this time I had the luck and may have finished in front of me. I'm struggling with English as well a bit, so I just want to say goodbye. It was a little bit of a messy video, but in these days I had to reinstall my PC as well because I was lagging so hard. I need to do a lot of work in school, so I couldn't prepare for another quality video, but I still hope that you have enjoyed it, and as I mentioned, I still hope that you will leave your thoughts in the comment section. Have a nice day, and of course, see you in the next one.